In today's video, I'm going to unbox the Platinum President Rhodium Trim Fountain Pen. So this is not a very popular fountain pen. If you look around the reviews and videos on YouTube as well as the internet, you won't actually find that many reviews of this pen for some reason. The focus for Platinum pens has always been the 3776 line. And we're going to find out why, maybe after trying this pen for a few days or a few weeks. So the pen comes in unassuming box. Incidentally, the model number is actually this, which is a PTP 25000 PR. And within that box, you would get a pen with a little plastic sleeve. You would get the warranty card. You would get some instructions down here in terms of how to use the pen, especially how to use the piston converter and so on. Incidentally, there's a mechanical pencil as well as a ballpoint pen version of the President. It also comes with one cartridge, which I'm not going to use thankfully today, because hopefully, as you'll see within the pen body, it actually comes with a converter, which is a real kind of a differentiating point between other Platinum pens, because as most of you know, the 3776 doesn't come with a converter. So there's a little label down here which I will slide off. And then looking at the pen itself, so it's, as you can tell, it's a normal resin, black resin pen. Some distinguishing marks to it. It's actually, I think the main distinguishing mark, just by looking at it, is actually the clip. You can tell that the clip has kind of a raised ridge to it, which is a nice kind of retro looking touch. Otherwise, if you were to look at the band, it says Platinum, Japan, and President. That's all. And opening up the pen, within the cap can just barely make out the slip and seal mechanism, which is nice. And before we get to the nib, let's look at the barrel. There is a very slight kind of a bulbous nature to the barrel, which I like. There's a little silver ring or the rhodium ring at the end. Down here, the barrel is entirely made of plastic or resin, and internally you get a metal grip section down here, or at least the covering is metal. And here's that converter which I was mentioning, right? So just and this is the typical Platinum converter in gold. I'm not sure why they didn't give me the silver or the rhodium, the silver version to kind of match the trim here. So looking at the nib, it is kind of a different looking nib compared to other Platinum nibs out there, in that it has that kind of chevron type look or engravings on top. It says President, sorry, I'm trying to get it in focus and look at the pen at the same time. It says 18K, B for broad, and Platinum, and then 750 indicates the percentage of gold. Sorry, I'm trying to get it into focus. On the other side, that's what the feet looks like. Pretty normal looking. And just by eyeballing it, does this look like a broad to you? Not so sure, right? So I'm going to ink up the pen right here on the spot, and I'm going to be using Robert Oster's fire and ice, because why not? And I'm just going to ink it up on the spot and do a little bit of writing. And as per my usual procedure, I'm not going to draw a lot of ink, just enough to kind of write with. Okay, that was actually probably too much, but it's fine. So the reason why I bought this pen while I'm still doing the filling, one of the main reasons is obviously to compare this against the 3776. I have a 3776, however, that one comes with a very different nib. It comes with the soft fine. So not the kind of the most accurate comparison. I'm trying to get a piece of tissue to wipe off the nib. And we'll kind of blot off the feet to kind of make it kind of more useful when you're comparing the wetness of the pen. So I have Clairefontaine paper for today. It's in kind of an optic white look. So it's not like a cream colored paper at all. So it will show off fire and ice, hopefully. So this is not the best start. It doesn't really kind of start up, which is strange since I actually got the kind of filled the pen from the nib, that it's not starting up. So I'm trying to prime the feet that way by kind of forcing out more ink, and there it goes. So hopefully this is in focus. And this is in broad. And the ink is Robert, Oster, Fire, and ice. So initial impressions of the nib, it's not, probably it doesn't feel like a typical platinum nib in that it doesn't have that normal feedback that you normally get, that I'm kind of used to when I'm using a platinum. There's very little feedback at all. I mean, there's a very slight feedback, and the pen is actually extremely wet. So I mean, if I bring up the pen, if I bring up the kind of the nib up to the paper and draw some squiggly marks, you can see the ink kind of pools like so. So it's very, very wet nib, which is a kind of a difference from that usual platinum nib, which you probably are used to. I mean, I only have one platinum nib, which I'm kind of going to bring that pen here to show you. And my experience, so this is the 3776 in soft fine. And this nib, I find it slightly dry. I mean, it could be because it's in soft fine in the first place, but we'll see over the next few days while I kind of compare the performance of these two pens. While we're at it, let's look at the kind of the size of the pens. So more important to me is actually the length when it's unposted. So basically the length of the President when it's unposted is about 123 millimeters versus the 3776, which is about 120 millimeters. So not a huge difference in terms of the length unposted. The section kind of area here is pretty similar, except that the President actually has that rhodium trim on top, which I actually don't really fancy, because this type of trim, if it's been exposed to ink, especially if you don't kind of wipe off the ink, it will actually kind of corrode over time. Feet wise, a bit of a different feet design here. So comparing the pens when they are capped, you can kind of get an idea of the difference in size. I think it's still that 4 to 5 millimeter difference in size. So that was the Platinum President in broad. I hope you kind of learned some things in this video. So key differences from, kind of to summarize what I showed you today, it is an 18K nib as compared to the 14K for the 3776, and it writes a little bit wetter, at least for this one nib that I have right now in front of you. So I hope you like this unboxing and a quick look. I will again, keep on writing with this pen, and I'll give you some feedback some weeks down the road. So again, thanks for watching today, and I hope you have a good one. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.